Good morning. Okay, so with the whole COVID-19 thing and people not being able to get diaries and stuff like that, I thought I'd make this video on how to make a digital diary, a digital visual art diary, or design diary, either way. I mean, this is in extreme cases where you are unable to get a diary and you maybe need to do a digital portfolio or diary. So this is going to be set up in such a way that follows the rules of how our diaries are supposed to work. But I mean, once you've got the basics down, you can go and change it in any way that you want to, the layout or the sizes or the amount of pages or whatever. So to get everything started, you're going to go to create new and you're going to start creating your new document. I'm in InDesign, sorry, just so you know what program we're using. So in InDesign, you're going to go to create new, click on it, and that will open your new document window. Just make sure here at the top that you're putting it on print. That's very important because a visual diary, you're definitely going to have to, or a visual art diary, you're definitely going to have to print in the end. It's not a digital platform diary, so you have to print it and then bind it. Then you can just go to all your presets and you can go and choose A3 because the standard diaries that we make use of is A3. So I'm going to stick to A3 just so that it fits like the normal diaries that we've been using. Pages for now, you can set them up for, let's say, 10 or 5 or 20 or 25. It depends on how many you're going to be using. I'm just going to do a standard 10-page diary for now. At the moment, your units are set on picas. I don't know why, but anyway, you can put them on millimeters or centimeters right at the start so you know what your size is, but this is the standard size for an A3, so that's fine. Columns, you're not going to be working with columns at all because it's a visual diary, so you're going to be working on an open piece of paper all over the place. I do want you guys to set your bleed because I want you to know up to where you can put text so that you do not put text anywhere inside the bleed. So when we're going to get to that, and I'll explain it again. So here in your bleed section, I want you to set it up to 3 millimeters, so 0.3 centimeters is fine. I'm just going to go change mine to millimeters here. I think that's going to work better. 3 millimeters for your bleed is absolutely fine. If you're scared, you can take it up to 5. But 3 works fine normally. You don't have to worry about slug or anything like that. And then you can just go ahead and say create. Then it's going to start setting up your document for you. So this would be your first page. Here on the side, like in Photoshop, when you're working with layers, you have all your panels on the side. Now I'm just going to teach you the basics of setting up a document. So here on the side, you have your pages. So you can see we're currently on this page. Now, when you're doing magazine layouts and things, you would have like a master page that you can apply numbers and page numbers and things like that to. But a visual diary and art is each page is something different and it's free form, it's freestyle, and you feel the page on its own and you design it on its own. So I don't want you to work with any master pages. I don't want something to be very generic and factory based and every page looks exactly the same. So this is going to be your first page. So think when you open your normal black covered diary, when you open it, the very first page, we normally call it our cover page. So on this first page, you could just go, so here on your tools panel, you'll see that you have this tool over here. It's called an ellipse frame tool. If you click on it and you hold it in, it's just here you can change the shapes. Yours should be on the rectangle. So the rectangle frame tool, that's the standard one that it's normally on. So I make use of this. There's many ways to do it. You can also just go to your type tool and type. But I make use of the rectangle frame tool. I'm going to show you why now. And then for my cover page, I'm just going to put the topic that you're working with at the moment. So that would depend on whatever you are busy with at the moment. So when you draw the rectangle or you drag it and you make a square or whatever you're working with, right click inside it and then go to content. Here you can change the content to graphic, text or unassigned. I'm going to change mine to text. Now this is a text block. So you can go and type on the inside here. Go to your type tool, click on the inside of it. The moment you've clicked on your type tool, here at the top is your type panel. It's open now. So you can go and change your font. I'm going to change mine to Montserrat, but you can change yours to whatever you want, whatever your heart desires. But for a cover page, we normally stick to plain text, not too advanced or intricate. You can go and make the type size quite big. I'm going to go for a 60. Okay, well, maybe let's start with a 48. I'm going to go for bold because it's a heading. Okay, so that's fine. And then I'm going to type in appropriation because that's the topic that you guys are working with at the moment. But whatever topic you need or you want to put there, it's fine. I'm just going to change it to 60. I can go bigger, 72. That's perfect. Here you can go put it in the middle of your text box. And for me, that's fine. I just want the cover to be appropriation. That's all. If you're, let's say your font block is set exactly the size around the font that it's supposed to be, and you move it, you'll see that it activates a pink line. That indicates the middle of your document. If you move it down a little bit more, that would be exactly in the middle of this page. Okay, this little border on the side, I normally use that to just tell me I should stay within this space if I want a beautiful white border around my page. The pink, the red line around it, that's your bleed. You don't put any text in this space up to your bleed, okay? So you can put pictures and things up to the bleed. When you print it professionally, they will cut into the bleed, okay, when they resize the paper. But don't stress about that too much. I'm sure you're just going to print the A3s at home on a normal computer, on a normal printer. Then you go back to your pages. You go to page 2. You can either do it here by clicking on pages and then double clicking on the page, and it will take you here. Or you can just scroll down with your mouse and it will take you to page 2. Now this is where you start now. So obviously your first 2 pages are going to be research pages. So you're going to go back to your rectangle frame tool. You can draw the size of the block, whatever size you want it. Right click on the inside, say content, text. Now you've got a heading space for text. I normally go and then I set up all my text blocks just roughly about where I want them. And I'm quickly going to do that. So then I would add, let's say, a block about this size for text over here. Right click, content, text. And then I go to my selection tool over here. I click on the block. I make sure that it's selected. I click on Alt on my keyboard and I drag it. That will make a copy of that block. So now I'm just going to go and get like body text somewhere. I haven't even thought about where I'm going to get my body text. I'm just going to go to some of your work. Let's use the Renaissance. No, let's use Greek art summary. Okay, so let's say I'm using this text. I'm just going to copy it. You would have now done research on your own, so you would already have typed out research, I'm hoping, in a different document, so a Word document. Then you'd go open that Word document, copy it, and then you'd bring it into here. So you go to your type tool, click inside your block and say Control V, because that's going to copy your text into the text box. Normal body text is 12 points. This is a visual diary. It doesn't have to be like a Word document. You can go make it 14. Use an appropriate text for body. So for me, the Minion Pro is not a good body text. I want something plain and simple. So I'm going to go for something more like a Microsoft Sans, or Even a Lucinda Sans is a good one. It's good spacing in between the wording. It's a simple, plain text, not too many twirls and thrills and all sorts of things. So I'm just going to stick to that one. I'm going to make it slightly bigger, like an 18. You want your text in your research pages to be easy to read. Let's say the fighting for power in this text is really important. Let me just go. I'm going to change this text because that text didn't have a bold option. So I'm going to go to Montserrat and I'm going to make the top of this bold so that it stands out a little bit more. You could even go and make it one size bigger than the rest of the text because that draws our eye to it. It tells us this little section of wording is all about power, fighting for power. Okay, cool. I'm just going to go get more body text. Let me go to my grade 12 theory, contemporary South African art. Okay, just going to use Nandipa. There's lots of body text in here that we can make use of. And then I'm just going to go copy some of this. Okay, Control C for copy, go back to your document, and Control V. Okay, I'll fix the text now. Now that I've copied this text into this frame, you'll note that there's a little red block over here with a plus in it. When you click on it, it's going to show you that there's extra text running out of this little frame that you can't see because my text frame is too small. The minute you click on that little X over there, it's going to give you this text that follows your arrow. You just go to this block and you click on it and it will drop. Wherever this text stopped, it will drop it into the next text frame for you, okay? So if you've got a lot of body text, every time you drop it into a frame, it's going to give you that little block. And then you can just go and click on the little plus sign and drop it into the next block that you've created. So I'm going to create more text blocks for us. You can even have a, no, that's too big. I'm going to have one like here. Maybe another one over here. Remember, this is now all for a research page. So you will know how you want to place all your research from the previous designs that you might have played with in Word or that you've written out with your hand or whatever. You'll know where to place them. And then I'm just going to go get some more body text for us. Not there. We can close that one. Over here, Nandipa. This is nice. Okay, this is going to help us a lot. Let's copy all of that. Control C, go back to your InDesign. Continue with the body text under the last part. Here's your little, okay, I'm just going to go to my selection tool. There's your plus again. Drop it into that frame. There's a plus. Drop it into, no, I'm going to drop it into here. You don't, if you're going to drop text into these frames, you don't have to go right click, you don't have to go right click content. Sorry, my brain just totally froze. You don't have to go right click content and change it to text. If you just drop text in here, it's going to make the frame text automatically. But the initial one, if you want to make a text block and then copy and paste it all over your document, then you're more than welcome to do that. It just makes the process easier. Okay, cool. That's the easiest way to get your body text into your frame. Let's just quickly zoom in here. I want to make all my text the same, obviously. So what you can do is click on your block. You can go to paragraph styles, paragraph, and you can go and set it up here. But for me, that becomes very generic. It becomes everything looks the same. So you're going to have to go in and change your text. Let's just check, what is this? Montserrat 18. So go and change this to 18 as well. Because what I want in your diaries is within your text that you have certain things that are very important, like let's say sculpture, videos, and photography is very important. Then you're going to have to go and bold that for me and make it maybe a 24, because it's something that you really want me to read or to notice, because it's an important section of the text. That makes your research pages so much stronger visually. And then you can go to your next frame, you can highlight it, change it to 14 if it's not that important. You can keep the little bullets if you want to, if that works, but I prefer if you don't use bullets in your body text, so you can go and take them out. Maybe keep this one. Just go and change your text so that it runs continuously within the frame if you've taken it from a different document. Okay, but you have to play around with the content that you've pasted. Make sure that everything reads right. Okay, edit your text a little bit. In the next video that I'm going to load for you guys, I'm going to show you how to set up generic blocks so that there's certain rules that work for all your blocks. This is just like an overview quickly of what it's going to look like if you set up a page, and then I'll go into the small little details in the next video. Okay, so for now I'm just going to work on this one page just so that you can see what it can look like in the end once you've followed all the rules and you've gotten all your stuff down. So let's say here in the top one, I want to go and say contextual research. I have no idea if I type that right now. Let's go make it 48. And I want to research. There you go. That's not how you spell that. Okay, cool. And you want to go change it to, let's say, I like Million Pro. Bold, not condensed. 60. I'm going to place it in the middle of the block. Move this up a bit. Okay, you can move this down a bit, and then you can add another text block under this, in which you go and put the basic of your research. So let's say you're doing appropriation. Let's say pop art appropriation. Let me just do that again. I'm just going to change my size so I can see what I'm typing. No, let's say Salvador Dali. Appropriation. Salvador Dali appropriation. Cool. I'm going to put that in the middle. I'll make it bold as well. And take it down a bit. Okay. Then you're going to go and do some images. There must obviously be some type of image on your contextual research page. You can draw another frame. It is, at the moment, it will be graphic. So it will generically give you the graphic option in the beginning, or standard. So once you've drawn this block, you need to go to File, Place. That will open it. Oh, cool. That's a good one to open on. So it will open your files on your computer, and you can go and find the images that you've saved during your research part of this. I'm just going to choose a random image. I'm going to choose that one, Mona Lisa. Okay, it doesn't fit in the block at the moment. There's options on how to do this. You can double click on it. You will see that it then shows you this orange frame is the picture. Okay, if you double click on it again, the blue frame is how big the actual frame of the picture is at the moment. So it's like pasting or forcing a too big picture into a small frame. Okay, but if you want to change the actual picture size, you can go and drag the little arms by holding in Shift and dragging it until it fits perfectly. But just remember, sometimes you place a picture inside a frame that's way too big, and then you have to go and look for the corners of the picture in the document. That's such a waste of time. You can just right click on the image, and here it says fitting. You can either say full frame proportionally. So that means if I click on it, see, you're still going to be cutting off some of the picture, but the picture frame is going to be filled proportionally, so up to the edges. Or you can go fitting, fit content proportionally. If I click on that, it will put the whole picture in your frame, but there will be white on the sides because your frame goes up to here and the picture only goes up to there. Okay, cool. So it's up to your design. If you want to cut, if you can afford to cut some of the image off, then I normally go for full frame proportionally, but that's only if you can afford to cut pieces off. While it is orange, if you move it, you're only moving the inside of the picture, not the picture frame. So just note that. It can be really frustrating at times. Okay, so I want to take her down a bit. I'm not so obsessed about her shoulders, but I want her whole head in, so that's perfect. If you double click on it again, it will select the picture frame. Then you can go make the picture frame bigger if you want to, or you can go make it smaller. I'm just going to keep it in proportion with my text. You can also, if it's on the blue frame, you can move the whole picture, frame and content. But you cannot move the whole thing if you're just selecting the content. Do you see? This frame is now empty and this is floating somewhere where you cannot find it again. Okay, so I just pressed Ctrl Z to get it back, one step back. Okay, so now you've got content here, you've got an image here. Awesome. I want to do the same over here. I'm going to draw another frame. Frame has been drawn, file, place. Oh, I like that one. It's pretty wicked. And, oh, okay. When this happens, you can clearly see now that this is a really tiny image. Please, 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 please do not go select it. Oh, sorry, no, wrong tool. Please don't go and select your image now and just drag it to make it fit into your picture frame. These images are not vectors as an illustrator. If you upsize them or upscale them or drag them to make them bigger, you're going to lose a lot of quality. They're going to start to pixelate and it just makes for really bad quality design. So if it's a tiny little image in a frame, like in this case now, consider then changing the size of your picture frame and maybe placing this picture here. Remember, if you make this text frame smaller, do you notice what happens here? It pushes the text down and it runs back into your other text frame. So it's okay. It's just going to keep running into all the text frames that you've copied the text into. So it's not a problem. So I would then rather just place the smaller one here, go and make a new frame for a picture. Ooh, don't let it run all the way up to your text. Leave a little bit of white space. File, place. Let's put Charlie in our frame. Ooh, Charlie's nice and big, so that's awesome. Right click, fitting. There's shortcuts as well, guys. I just don't focus on the shortcuts because some of you work on Mac, some work on PC, and it's confusing. So you're more than welcome to, once you've done the full frame proportionally, Control Alt Shift C. So I'm going to do that now. Control Alt Shift C. Oh, I must select it first. Sorry. Control Alt Shift C. We'd fit it proportionally. Okay, obviously his head is chopped off now. You can go and write down. Fit content proportionally is going to work way better for this. Control Alt Shift E instead of C. Control Alt Shift E, and there's your Charlie. Okay, then you can double click on him because I mean there's a lot of white space at the bottom, so I can go and just remember to hold in Shift to proportionally size him. That's cool, I love it. I can make my frame a little smaller. I can move him more to the side, allowing our text box to be a little bit bigger. Now here's an open space. Please, we do not do any open spaces in Visual Art Diaries. You can put a little blurb in here. So what is a blurb? It's like a short summary of the content on this page, the very important things like I'm going to say, I'm going to make my size bigger, 18, bold, icons throughout ages, magazines, bright colors, no, bright colors, and pick out lines were used, blah blah blah. Okay, just going to change the font, bold. I can make it slightly bigger, 24. I'm going to take magazines out. I don't need that. Awesome. Okay, so I've done one page now. My suggestion is that you go and practice on one page. So everything I've done so far now, just go and practice it because that's like the basics. And then in my next video, I'll quickly show you how to set up specific rules for paragraphs, specific rules for text frames and things like that. For me, it becomes really confusing trying to see what this is going to look like, the end product, when all of these blue lines are here and I can't really see what it's going to look like. So you can go to View. The first one on your view list is Overprint Preview. So what that does is, let me just quickly zoom in here. When you put an image in InDesign, the quality always looks horrible. It's trying, because in InDesign you work with a lot of pages at once, the file sizes tend to get incredibly large, which makes it work really slow, the program. So here it gives you like a preview, low quality image to keep the document smaller. If you go to View, Overprint Preview, do you see what happened to the image? It makes everything really good quality, but be very careful. Don't do your whole design with this setting turned on because your computer is going to bomb out or it's just going to get incredibly slow. So you turn that off while you're designing. If you want to look at a preview, you turn Overprint Preview on and then you go to View, Screen Mode, Preview. Okay? And then you can see what your page looks like. I'm also going to show you in the next video, if you've noticed, it hyphenates everything. Like when it cuts off words like everywhere. Look at this. There, yeah, not there, but there, here. Everywhere it cuts off words and it just becomes really, it's really ugly for design and it's really difficult to read and you want people to be able to read as easily as possible. So I'm going to show you in the next video how to get rid of stuff like that, how to set up blurb boxes, how to set up generic boxes for headings and things like that if you want to do your layout in such a way. Okay, cool. But for now, this is easy enough to do. I did the cover page and I did my first page. Quick, easy to read, lots of nice information, beautiful pictures, a heading, a subheading, everything you need for now. Okay, cool. Then I'll see you in the next video, but you can go and practice this and then in the next video we'll zone in on a little bit more detail. Awesome, guys.